going on YouTube? Khallid here, aka Smooth Flipper, and this video is going to be a little bit different. So I saw that I'm closing in on about 2,000 subscribers, and I figured it'd only be right if I, kind of gave you guys a life story of myself, more on a personal level. I post videos about flipping phones and helping you guys flip phones, and a lot of people don't know exactly, who I am and um, the obstacles that I've overcome to get to where I am today. So first and foremost, I am not where I want to be still. I still have a lot to work on, but figured it'd be a good video to document, and look back at, a year from now. All right, so first and foremost, those that don't know, I'm 25 years old. I was born and raised in San Diego, California, just until I got to college here in Idaho. And going back on childhood was great. Everything that I remember about my childhood was positive. Uh, Lived with my mom and dad. I have three sisters, no brothers, so I was the only boy. So um, I guess it was kind of hard, but I used that as my advantage and gave my gave my sisters hell. So that was my job. I feel like when I was younger, to give all my sisters hell, and I believe I succeeded at that. But anyway, growing up as a kid, I wasn't a bad kid at all. Good kid, good grades. I remember elementary school. You know, we had awards that they would give out every month. I remember I would get a lot of the awards as far as uh, just integrity awards, good student, good grades. I would get that a lot. I remember my parents coming up there a lot to support me, support the. We had little ceremonies that we would do, and they would always be there. So from what I can remember, when I was younger, it was a lot of that. Doing a lot of positive things. I didn't get into trouble at all. There were some times where, yeah, I got into altercations as a kid. You know how that happens, and but ain't nothing crazy, nothing like to where I was getting, almost expelled or, uh, you know, teachers, calling my parents about my behavior. It didn't get to that point. Um, it didn't at all. So, like I said, good kid, good grades. Um, I started sports early. First sport I ever played was football. My dad played football. All the way up into college. Was told that he could have definitely made the NFL. But different things happened along his way, and I played football. In hopes of following his footsteps. So started football, played flag. If you guys know flag football, and instantly fell in love with it. I love football. I love everything about it. Um, and yeah, that was it. So I just played football, pretty much my entire childhood. So football, and then a couple years after football, I went into baseball. So I did two sports. So throughout the entire year, I really had no break. I had football season, and then once football season stopped, went right into baseball season. So um, football, I played linebacker pretty much my entire career. And baseball, I played it all pretty much. Third base was my initial position. Third base. I pitched. I did a lot of pitching. That's kind of like how I got the Smoove name. So my uncle who passed away, he would call me K Smoove. So so my name is Khallid, so start with the K, and he had a smooth to it just because he felt like when I pitched everything was smooth. I wasn't nervous. I didn't look nervous, so that name kind of stuck with it. And Smoove, Smoove, is the same as Smoove, which is Smooth, for those who didn't know. So, things are smooth. So that means you like, on a sense of it being your cool. So that kind of stuck. And I use that as my YouTube channel name. So yeah, baseball, football, and sports was life. Everything was life. Family support. Um, you know, everything was great. Now I went to high school. Went to high school at Morris High School in San Diego. Again, played football and baseball all 4 years, and that was it. So high school was high school or whatever. It was I enjoyed it a lot. I went to school with my cousins who also played football. A lot of people that I played football with went to that same exact school, so it was like I knew pretty much everybody, and I enjoyed it a lot. So you know, didn't a lot of kids in high school was going out and doing a lot of things, and as far as parties and things of that nature. I didn't really get into parties like that in high school. I rarely, I hung out with a couple of my friends, but usually I would just, see him at school, hang out with him at school, and then after school's out, I went home, or I went to practice for baseball and football, and I went home. So, for 4 years, it was kind of the same thing. And then Saturdays, um, sometimes I would have games on Saturdays as far as baseball. So life, for high school and before that was filled with sports. And I wasn't complaining about it. I enjoyed every bit of it. I love sports. I love playing the sports. I love that my family was there to support me. So I was not complaining at all. So after high school, graduated high school, got my diploma, decided it was best for me to go to community college. So the whole goal for community college was to play football there, possibly baseball, and then hopefully get a scholarship to go to a 4-year college. So that was the main goal. Uh, community college was not very expensive. I qualified for a lot of financial aid, so that helped out a lot. And the goal was just to get schooling for free when I get my scholarship. So around this time, things got a little rough. So, my dad ended up getting hurt at his job and could not work for a while. Things happened, and things got rough. So we ended up having to sell the house, or move out of the house that we were in to live with a relative. Um, and that was good. That was cool. They were accepting for it. This is my grandma at the time. She was accepting for it. She knew that you know if it wasn't her, we wouldn't be anywhere. We would probably live on the street. So that happened for a couple of years, and we kind of got back on. My parents got back on their feet a little bit. We moved out and ended up right back in the same spot, but we were at another relative's place where we stayed there, and apparently overstayed our welcome. And things happen with I know everybody has probably went through it as far as relatives, and sometimes you can invade someone's space a little bit too much, and I felt like um, I guess that's what we did, and we wasn't told that, but apparently um, one day it happened, and everything was all hell broke loose, and we had to immediately leave. So we had no place to go. So we ended up in a hotel. So this is me and my sisters and my parents. So we all five of us, excuse me, six, had to get our stuff and go into a hotel. There was a hotel down the street. Not the best hotel at all. It was not, 5-star hotel. It was an inn. It wasn't even like a big time hotel. It was basically um, the lowest of the lowest hotels. And I wasn't. I mean, I was kind of mad about that. I'm really good at controlling my anger as far as not getting down and out when times are rough. I was mostly the person to try to cheer everyone up. So my goal was to keep everything positive with the family. I know my parents were stressed out. Uh, Sisters, sometimes they can get emotional, and that happened. And I was more of a person that was positive. I tried to keep everything positive, tried to get everybody together and laughing, just so we can kind of get away from the reality of us staying in a hotel. So we were in one room with two beds, and six people. So, and this occurred. This happened. No lie, guys. This happened for 2 years. I lived in a hotel, in one room with six people for 2 years. And we had to move hotels because they had a policy where we couldn't stay there for too long, and we moved all our stuff to the next hotel. And then when our time up was there, from there we moved on to the next hotel. So we ended up going back and forth from hotels, and this happened for 2 years. And at this time, I had gotten to phone flipping, maybe like a year before I moved into a hotel, and the capital was low. Um, it was really slow. I couldn't really focus too much on it because of the school. I was still in school, still doing sports, or still trying to get to the next level, and was not really focused much on phone flipping and making money. So when we moved to the hotel, I had some capital saved up, and a lot of times I was helping out, paying for the room. So I was phone flipping I was basically working for to help out. So me and my sisters was helping to work. Dad was getting things together to work to help out. We all was together, and getting that hotel paid for so we can stay. There was times where you know I felt like I was relied on by, my parents relied on me to sell a phone that day. So if we needed, $80, um, and I didn't have it, or they didn't have it, my sister didn't have it, I had a phone that I was trying to sell that could, net me $100. But I feel like sometimes I was, the one to say, hey, you gotta sell this phone today because we have to make it. We have to get this room paid for. And I didn't take it any kind of way. I love to help out. I was helping out. I didn't care about it. It was times where I've came up and grew my capital to a couple $1,000s. Was happy, because I started with so little. I started with $100, and to grow it, in rough times, I was happy. I wasn't the one to go out and buy things. I'm not a material person at all. I don't like to buy, I still to this day don't like to buy a lot of clothes. Just, for the simple fact that, I feel like I have enough. So that money that I had didn't go to stupid things. It just went to hotel. It went to food. We had to, there was a food for less place, which is, I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. Right down the street, we would go there, get our food. So I would have to, sometimes pay for dinner, lunch, whatever the case may be. I had no, you know, I didn't care about that. I was not mad about it. I, I felt like it helped me grow a lot more. In the long run, at the time, when you're thinking you're younger, you're thinking, man, I want to be able to have my own money. But at the time, I had to do what I had to do, and I had to help out. So that happened for 2 years, guys. Two long years. And at this time, I'm still trying to, you know, still do phone flipping. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a car at the time. So a lot of times I had the people meet me downstairs in the lobby of the hotel, or I would meet them across the street. There was a 7-Eleven across the street where I would meet them to buy phones. A lot of times, if they were too far away, I'd ask my parents to take me to wherever we were planning to meet up. I would buy the phone, and that was it. So I was still doing eBay, not as hard as I'm doing it now, obviously, but I was still getting phones, a couple phones a week. I'm still making pretty good money, and that's what it was. So at this time, after all this, I'm still trying to get a scholarship. I'm, after community college, I got different offers from colleges. I didn't have the best guidance in high school, where I don't know if anybody is familiar with this, but there's a thing called the clearinghouse, where you have to get a number, have to get verified, and all this stuff to play NCAA ball. And like I said, I didn't have the guidance in high school for my coaches, and I never got that. So I would get letters from all these top colleges, Auburn, UTEP, what's another one? Mississippi Valley State. Um, what else? Just a lot of different schools. I got a lot from Auburn. A lot of Miss. Oh yeah, Ole Miss. Ole Miss was very interested in me going there. Talked to the coach, and things went downhill from that because I didn't have the identification, and they're pretty strict in NCAA. They said, hey, if you don't have this number, we can't even talk to you. So it was like that. So once I tried to get it in time, it didn't happen. They were wanting me to go back and get my associates. So at this time, I didn't have my associates, and I only the reason why I got it was because I had to potentially go to NCAA. So um, that didn't happen. I was kind of bummed out. Ole Miss was very interested. I talked to the coach a lot. He told me how everything was ran there, and I used to see Ole Miss on TV all the time, and I was like, man, this is crazy that Ole Miss is sending me emails, sending me letters about the school. The coach is sending me stuff, checking on me, all these different things. So I felt like this could be my break, and I got hit with the NCAA rule and couldn't go there. So this time. Um, Things happen. It was kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, I'm still learning from it. I'm learning everything that happened that's negative. I'm learning from it, so that's a plus. Um, and I ended up getting a call from my community college coach, who landed a job in Idaho, where I'm at now. So I ended up going to College of Idaho and played football there. Went to school, graduated. But I want to go over a little bit of the college life. So, college life was good. The college life was rough. So I got here. Um, I didn't even fly here. See, the thing is, my dad is a truck driver. So, and he was going through Idaho. So this is from San Diego. So we drove from San Diego, California to Caldwell, Idaho in his big truck. We had to make some stops because it is what it is. He was working at the time, and he just kind of took me over there. Uh, and all I had I had a trash bag full of clothes. I had one suitcase, and I was ready to go. So um, it was college life was rough. I was adjusting to the area. I was new there. Obviously, I had some people that was from San Diego that I knew. I had a guy that I knew that was from San Diego that came up as well. So that helped out a lot. But at the same time, things didn't go as planned. They had me. Before I got there, they told me they had a spot for me to live, all this different stuff. I got there, did not have the spot to live. I had to live with some players who I rarely knew, who I didn't even know at all, actually. Um, I had to live with them for a bit, and it was time for season to start, and I had no other place to live. So one of my coaches, said it was okay for me to live with him. So me and another guy from San Diego was living with the coach, and we lived there for an entire year, so the full football season, and then after that, until we finally got things together to get a place. And this place that we got, our coach found us. It's the same coach that we lived with found a place for us to live. And this place was far away. So it was about a 35 minute walk. And both didn't have a car. So um, it was rough. It was really rough. We had another guy who lived with us as well. And he didn't have a car either. So the football season is about to start. We have workouts in the morning. The roughest part of this was that we had to walk. We had to wake up. All of us had to wake up at 4 in the morning to then walk 30 minutes to school to then work out. Um, and we had to do that for a pretty long time. I'd say about 3 months time. We had to walk every day. We would walk to and from school. There was times where I was in the library 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, finishing homework. I would have to walk 30 minutes back home, and then get home around 3 a.m. to wake up for another way. So it was rough. I'm not gonna lie, it was really rough. I don't tell people this story much because I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. I didn't feel sorry for myself, but at the same time, it was rough. I knew I had to get it done, and I did get it done. So um, we went through that phase, uh, and finally I got a place to where I moved. That was a lot closer to the school. I was pretty much across the street from the school, and things started going smoothly. Phone flipping picking up. I was starting to get adjusted to the area. Um, you know, didn't start the phone flipping right when I got there because I was focused on football, but now things are rolling, and I was putting out ads and picking up phones from people. I would meet them at Albertsons, which was walking distance from where I was at, and was doing that, going to school, playing football. So all that together was going on, um, and I finally finished. So I finished at College of Idaho, and then my last year I had an internship at the YMCA where I finished that, and um, the supervisor asked me, hey, do I want to continue working here? I figured, yeah, it's a great opportunity. I was working with kids. I was enjoying every bit of it. Although the pay was not great at all, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being around the kids. My internship was basically to get kids active, get kids out of, keep kids out of trouble, keep kids at the YMCA doing activities and things of that nature. So that was my job. And then, so when I actually got the job at the YMCA, I was working with the younger kids. So I'm talking, 5 to 8 years old, 8-year-old kids, and we'd have to watch them, do games with them, teach them different things, all that. And I enjoyed every bit of it, just for the simple fact that I love kids, and I didn't think about the pay. I was not, the pay was whatever. But my whole thing was the kids. I was about the kids, and then reality kind of hit me, and I was like, well, I'm still phone flipping at the time, so all of the pay at the YMCA wasn't that great. I was still making money with the phone, so that was probably why I stayed there a lot longer than I did. But reality hit, and I was, just thinking, I'm doing phone flipping part time. I'm making like 3 times more than what I would be at the YMCA. I was working at the YMCA for 8 hours a day, and then it kind of slowly cut out. But I was thinking to myself, why am I working here and you know not making nearly as much money as I would if I just went full time phone flipping? And that's my decision that I made. Uh, I ended up, quitting my job. I believe I believe it was May of 2017, and took phone flipping full time, and haven't worked anywhere since. So, um, this past year, 2017, was a pretty good year for me as far as phones. Like I said, I went part time from January 2017 to um, May 2017, and from that point on to now, full time, and you know, been doing great since. Um, went, I got my PayPal statements and everything. Did over $120,000 in sales for eBay. Couple more for Swappa. Local sales was doing pretty well. So I had started, after I quit, was going full time, but everything was already rolling. I was already, pretty much, um, I knew how to do this already. I did it for so long. I started in 2011, so I knew how to do it already. It was like second nature, but my whole thing was I needed the time. I needed the time to be able to get it rolling, and I got the time, and haven't looked back since. So, you know, this this phone flipping journey, my life, everything that's happened, it all happens for a reason. I feel like I learned a lot from all the good, all the bad things that happened in my life, and I feel like the only way is up from now. I've pretty much been through it all, guys. I've this is not to I want you guys to feel sorry for me. I don't feel sorry for myself at all, but I still keep that in mind. I know where I came from. I tell myself I would never um, be living in a hotel again. So that's one promise that I've made for myself. Um, and yeah, so this phone flipping journey has opened up a bunch of different business ventures. Like I said, guys, I'm doing Swappa sales as well as eBay. Locals doing well. I'm getting into Amazon a lot more, and I'm closing in on $10,000 in sales on Amazon for this month. So things are going well. I'm about at $300 profit at Shopify that I'm doing. So things are rolling in pretty good, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. So I just wanted to give you guys a story, my little story. I don't know how long this was, but so you guys can kind of get to know me more. I talk more about phone flipping and stuff like that, but I haven't really gotten into my personal life and felt like it was, um, you know, needed for me to express myself to you guys. Um, and I hope you guys can relate to this video. Hope you guys can find some motivation from this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.